Hey everybody, my name is Amanda Owen. I am the executive director and founder of a nonprofit organization called Puzzle Pieces here in Owensboro, Kentucky. And I'm very fortunate and blessed to be on this call with Drew Hardesty and Kellyanne Harris, who I will let them introduce themselves next. The purpose of what we want to do is really just kind of talking through this crisis, and I always keep telling people that we're not really on a shutdown, we're on a pause. And so how do we get through this pause? And luckily we're all three entrepreneur spirits and have built a business. And so mine is a nonprofit. I've been doing that for 7 years, and I'm just rolling with the punches as we go through this, and building it up to 59 employees and having to make some decisions with that and a $2 million operating budget. And again, having to make some decisions about that as well. So I will let Drew, if you want to start next, of just kind of giving people an introduction of who you are.
Sure. I'm Drew Hardesty. I'm the president of Wonderboy Media. We are a media company here in Owensboro, Kentucky. Specialize in photography, videography, and social media marketing. And I'm so excited to be on the call.
And Kelly.
All right, I'm Kellyanne Harris. I am an operating partner of a few Keller Williams real estate franchises. I'm an entrepreneur spirit. I've got a property management company, a large real estate team, and a real estate investor. And I am so excited to be on this call too.
Awesome. So really what we want the listeners to kind of walk away with is really us just kind of talking out loud of kind of maybe what we're doing in action phases right now through this pause, of trying to look at what our businesses look like, what the future looks like for our business. How do we rebuild that? I think as an entrepreneur and as a business leader, we're constantly looking, we're in a great momentum of growing and of doing things and creating new divisions and building that brand out. That's kind of where, before this pause happened and the crisis, we were having some great momentum to our business. And so you do that through development, and you do that through vision tracking and looking at the big picture. And so I just wanted to, and same for Kelly. Kelly has built an empower of businesses, and the same for Drew, and just being able to build something that is your own, and then now having to, okay, now that everything's shifting, what's that look like, and how do we rebuild that to be stronger than what we were when we stopped? Or not stop, again, when the things took a pause. So I kind of want to throw out, what we'll do is just act like this is a panel, and I'll throw out some questions, and maybe you all can just chime in as you all, and kind of share what you're currently doing. And I would like to know more so what are some actions that you are doing right now as you're looking at rebuilding, redesigning, and or making yourself stronger right now through this pause? What are some action steps you are taking? Kelly, you want to go first?
Sure. Drew just paused. So fortunately, we have been categorized as life essential. So we're an essential business getting to keep operating, although it seems like the world around us has paused. So we are trying everything to push through and still find income. It seems like about half of our, on the realtor side of things, half of our business of showing property has kind of stopped because a lot of those people were laid off. So we're just trying to find the cream of the crop of who actually can still move forward, who might be a healthcare worker or a school teacher or one of those that are still kind of pushing through and buying property. We've been keeping Drew busy, so he knows that we're still trying to move and shake right now. And then as for some of the other companies that I'm over, I'm trying to kind of just be there for, I'm the debt collector, right? I'm the one that collects some of the debt, especially for the property management company. And so we're just coming up, even before the governor kind of came out, we're coming up with ways to help our people so that we can keep them long term. And I feel like that's kind of like where banks are right now, is back in 2008, whenever they were getting everyone out of their homes and saying, hey, if you can't pay the money, see ya, peace. They're not like that right now. They're trying to do everything to keep us afloat, which is different. It's totally different. So, but I think that passes on to us as owners to also help our clients, because those cost savings to us are able to be passed down to the people we may collect from.
Gotcha. Drew, do you have anything to add in reference to maybe as looking at the business model of what you're doing as to what the action is taking right now during this pause?
Yeah, we had a few videos scheduled out to shoot for some clients, and they were postponed or canceled. And so then that was kind of when I started getting the scare of, oh gosh, this could happen across the board, and then we're not making any money. And so, I took a step back, and I thought about, what is it that the people are doing right now? Everybody's at home, everybody's on social media. So how can we still grow as a business and reach those people? And I went back to our roots, which was in real estate with Kelly and her team, the previous team. So we shot a lot of real estate photos for her and videos and things like that. And I got to that point. We have a piece of equipment that allows us to 3D map homes, so people can watch, or they can tour homes from the comfort of their own home without having to get out and go places, people's homes they don't know. And so they're still able to do, listings and showings and things like that. We're just doing them in a little more creative way. And that's really what our business was all about, was how do we be creative? How do we stay creative? How do we stay ahead of creative curves? How do we constantly push the creative envelope? And so this really just fit right in. I think the thing I'm facing now is a moral dilemma of, our business is considered non-essential, so we can't have foot traffic into our office, which wasn't a big deal for us because it's kind of a base anyway. It's not really a brick and mortar for people to come and visit. But the moral dilemma is, do I go out to all these homes and shoot all these, photos and 3D mappings and do all these things to try and keep the business afloat? What it boils down to is I got to feed my family. And, if this is what it takes, then I'll do it. I'm taking a million precautions to stay healthy and safe, and not assuming anything. So gloves and masks and shoes off, and changing shoes in the garage and putting different shoes on, and just all this different stuff to stay safe during all this. But again, just trying to be creative, trying to keep income flowing. Like, we're doing a good job of it right now.
Awesome. Well, and I think that what I would like to add, it says internet unstable here, so maybe we might be cutting up for the recording, but something that I would like to add is something that you mentioned, and that was going back to your roots. And I think that's really what I'm focusing on as a business leader right now, and looking at really, we're mission-based, and we're very, our core values mean a lot to how we operate our organization, which is what most nonprofits do, but we do have a business model within that. And I think that that's what I would be encouraging others to be able to do right now as well, is not of, I said this in another thing that I was a part of, it's not a wait and see right now. It really is, you need to be able to take action. And some of the things that I'm trying to do is really develop, not take a pause on my professional development, and not motivated to becoming a stronger leader through this, because now is the time. If I give up now and I don't, and I let the stress kind of take over, then I'm going to be kind of setting back where I need to be stronger than I ever have been. So that's really how I'm kind of looking at how to be stronger at the end of this, is what can I do as a leader through this, whether I'm working at home and things like that, not to get caught up in my Netflix series, and just really putting in the work, because my team is going to depend on that when I do come out, when we do hit the play button back. And so I think, I'm constantly reading books and listening to podcasts. I was doing that before, but just because the world kind of felt like it stopped, doesn't mean that I should stop on the habits of what I was doing. So that's really kind of the action that I'm taking right now, of how to come back stronger on the other side of this too. So I like that, how you said going back to your roots and then being creative. I mean, I think the one thing, and I would love your all's take on this, we talked about like maintaining your purpose, and it's kind of brought us back together. And I think right now is important. We all started something. We started something from scratch, really. So it's ours to own. It's ours to thrive. It's ours to keep the heartbeat going, and it's ours to fail at too. And so I think that one of the things that I have seen through this pause button is it's really made us be creative of coming back together as building your inner community to say, like, we can get through this. Like, I'm not in real estate, and I'm not in social media and professional videography. But, I remember you saying to me, stay consistent on Facebook, stay at the top. And Kelly saying, like, we're going to get through this. Lead your team. Let them know what their next step should be. And so I think that leaning onto each other, I hope that people are doing that. So kind of share some of the things that you are doing in a sense of like maintaining your purpose and not getting down and maybe staying energized and motivated through that. Kelly, do you have some things that you would like to add?
So I think it's an up and down daily battle right now. I think that one thing is be around other leaders, because sometimes when you're leading your people, it's funny. It's real, like when this happened, on a DISC assessment, you can tell who are like your DIs, like your drivers and your influencers, and you can tell who your S and Cs are through this. So your S and Cs are like, oh my gosh, let's go home. And your D's are like, oh, come on, just stay. We got this. We're going to get through this. Like, you can tell what personality strength someone has during this. And so your S and Cs, it's not that they aren't leaders, because they are. There's lots of S and Cs that are major leaders. It's just they have to process things a little different than we do. And so making sure that we stay in conversations with them and maybe have longer conversations with them so that they can kind of get through this. But it shows in a crisis like this where the personality strengths are. And it's important, if you are an opposite of one of your people that you lead, that you mold to their personality and you learn how to work with them. So for instance, we are over communicating in every, like, I honestly think on the other side of this, we're going to come out stronger, because some of the things that we're doing now, we're going to use in the future, since it's forced everybody to use technology. And so we're going to be able to, like, okay, yeah, we're doing a meeting finally when we can come together, but we're also Zooming, because the person at home with 2 kids at home that can't get to the meeting is now going to be looped in even more. So we're doing that. We're communicating, like, and we're probably getting on the D's nerves, like the people that are just like, gosh, that's way too much information, but we're trying to get through to everybody. So we're like, we've got a mass text going out. We've got an email going out. It's on Facebook. It's on Slack. It's on Zoom reminders. We're notifying them 30 minutes before this. And we're just like over communicating to our sellers, to our buyers, whoever our client is and whichever business we're in. We're over communicating, because it's that lack of communicating when they start to go negative or they start to get nervous. Mm-hmm. And so it's just touching, and even my staff, I mean, it's just touching them more, checking on them. How are you doing? How are you feeling? I mean, we're week 3 into this, and I can see people like having bad days, you know what I mean? Right. And we're going to have those bad days, and it's okay to have a bad day. Like, cry it out, get over it. Don't let your people see it.
Right.
But be real with them, right? Like, let them know that you feel the same way. I don't think this is a time where you just say, oh, it's going to be all right. Like, talk to them, mm-hmm. you know? So
I agree. Well, and I think that now's the time too, like, it kind of brought me back, like, even through the crisis, I still want to be at work. Like, even through it all, I still want to hustle, and I still want, it's not about a job. It's about my way of life of it kind of redefined for me and let me know that this is my purpose. This is what I want to do, and challenge me a little bit more to say, like, even through the crisis, and I can lead through this, then I'm going to be stronger at the other end, and my team is going to be stronger too. So it kind of helped me to kind of reset and refocus back onto the main purpose of why I do what I do too. So I think that there's silver linings to all of this.
There is. Yeah. We, at least in our office, you know, my desk is here, Joel sits over there, and we, you know, maybe talk back and forth, but we kind of know what each other's doing. And now that we're not together, it's like, oh, we've got to talk to each other on the phone now or something. So our communication has gotten way better now. Just letting each other know what we're working on, what we're getting into, what we're doing. And that's kind of how I've maintained my purpose driven, you know, is I've just got to stay creative. And when I was worried about things drying up and not having any work, I was like, okay, how can I stay creative? I can do woodworking in the garage. I can, you know, we moved into this new space. I can finish decorating it and all this other stuff. And so now I'm getting to the point where it's like, oh, I don't have time to do that. That's great. And so, you know, I'm still creative on the projects that I'm doing now. And I guess, you know, as I get more into this call with you guys, I'm realizing, of course, we are a creative company, but how important that aspect is to you know, staying purpose driven and staying motivated and just everything we do. It all kind of centers around creativity.
Well, and I think so. The next question that I have for you all is kind of, you know, I know that I share this with both of you because we talk on a everyday basis that, you know, we can see a vision, we can see something of what it's going to look like, and we see it dangling, and we're going to hustle towards it, and we're going to place some things in action. That comes kind of easier, but now there's a lot of uncertainty, and not just for us, but for everybody's going through that uncertainty. And so I think that having the uncertainty of what the future might hold, what are y'all doing to help kind of ground of, okay, but even though there's this uncertainty, this is what I know that's going to happen, and this is what I'm plowing through? Because I think people in this time need to know that we're all facing the unknown, but how are you all helping yourself to know what that vision looks like through the unknown?
I have in my own personal life have been growing in this aspect, but is trying not to catastrophize, which is, you know, plan for the worst and, oh my gosh, the sky's falling and all this stuff. And so literally just from, you know, group sessions that I've been to, like, I have to do it day by day. And so I know when I get off this call, I've got to edit 2 homes and I've got to deliver those to Kelly. That's all I'm focused on right now, is getting those houses done. And then tomorrow I'm shooting videos again. And so that's good. And so that's all I'll focus on, is shooting those videos. And then when I get home tomorrow night, I'll focus on editing those videos. And so I cannot, it does me no good personally and from a business owner standpoint to try and forecast right now, especially in this environment. You know, I literally can only take it day by day. And that's what I think, you know, I guess as a business owner, that may not be the best thing to do, is not forecasting, but it's just so uncertain now that there's no way I can say in June I'm going to be able to do this, because I don't know. And so I literally just have to take it project by project until, you know, we come out on the other side of this.
Well, but I think that you were forecasting it, because when you had a conversation like, Kelly, let's do this, this, and this, it was, hey, I got to find a way to make money now, right? And so, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because other people were pulling out. Well, it's the same thing that was going on with all of our businesses. I mean, Amanda, whenever you had to shut down half of yours and find out a way to do it, you found out a way to make it happen. And like what I'm teaching my agents is, yeah, these people are holding the brakes because they got laid off. Go find somebody else. Like, don't quit calling. Don't quit dialing. Don't, whatever industry you're in, you got to just, like, because one door shuts doesn't mean another door is not open. Like, you got to go find it, because there's money to be made. I mean, yeah, we're kind of walking around with one arm behind our back, but we still got another one, you know? So it's like, it's not about thriving. It's about surviving right now. And it's like, how can we just survive to get through this pause so that we come out on the other side? You know, and this one's just a little different because we've got the health concern, but I just know back in 2008 when a lot of businesses were hurting, like I know it wasn't just real estate, it was a lot of businesses because that's like when some economic stuff was going on. And there was a lot of businesses that didn't come out on the other side. But that the government didn't have the assistance that they had. And I think we're just more prepared this time to know what to do so we do come out on the other side. But there will be some that don't find those other doors, you know, that just sit there and wait for it to pass.
Well, and I agree with you. I think that there's opportunity that's within, and you got to see the opportunity. I know I was on another call, and that was one of the things that we talked about a lot was the opportunity within it. But I'm a little bit on both. I'm kind of straddling both fences. And the reason I say that is, you know, we're looking at a 2 weeks. So we're still, although we close our campus services, so we're a direct service line for those with disabilities. And so we're considered essential business as well, but we had to shut down our in contact on a campus. So where I was serving, you know, a lot, it's affecting 89 people that we could not serve, but now we're still serving 29 of those people. And so it just looks different and having that communication like you all talked about. But, you know, so we're looking at a 2 week, every 2 weeks, like I still provide consistency. Like we do this team Monday roundup call. We did that in the office every Monday. I still do that now, still with my team on Mondays. We do a Zoom. So staying consistent within some of our habits that we were doing, even though we're not operating at the full scale, provides a little bit of comfort and like, okay, we're gonna kind of get through to the other side of this. But I'm trying to forecast. It's going to look different, but we're learning what that's going to look like together. And it's not that it's only going to look different for us. And I think that that's kind of my, you know, optimism, I guess, in all of this is that it's going to look different for everybody. So it's not like we're single out and being like, oh, well, you're just, you know, the odd ducks out that have to kind of figure this out. We're all going to be doing that across the entire world. And so that's why I think it's going to make it better. I do too. So I think that that's kind of what's providing me a little bit of hope of like, well, I don't know the answers, but neither does the next guy. So
no, I don't think anybody knows the answers. I think we just know how to deal with it on a daily basis and lead. But I'm like, I really think that we are going to come out of this. We've gotten so, I want to always say fluffy around certain things. And we've maybe not adapted to certain things. And when we come out of this, we've had to adapt. So it's proven that we have done things and gotten out of our comfort zones and it worked. And now nobody's going to have any excuses whenever we're able to come back.
I think that's a great point. I think too, the other thing that I said a lot lately is I think we're going to be more effective as a business, and everybody is going to be, because you had to strip down and focus on what mattered really the most. And I think that we'll just do business different. I think it's going to reshape a lot of the design, and as it should, because I think that that's going to strip us down to our purpose and how to be stronger through this too. So any other last thoughts as people are kind of looking at rebuilding and becoming stronger through this pause? Any last minute thoughts that you all would like to throw out there as I hear a kid coming down my steps?
I like that you're trying to stay positive, because I think we were talking about this before the call, that, you know, it's hard to not get depressed sometimes, you know, when you're, oh gosh, stuck at home with 3 kids and, you know, trying to keep them away from your wife while she's working on the phones, and then you've got to go into work. And so it's just like, oh God, you know, it's like I can't come up for air. But staying positive and you know, before my feet hit the ground every morning, it's thank you, Lord, for, opportunities you've given me and you continue to give me. And I'm not going to take them for granted. I'm not going to take this house for granted, this car for granted, this job for granted, nothing. And just trying to stay positive before I even get out into the world. And I think that'll go a really long way, depending on how long this thing lasts. But it's going to go a long way to help you stay sane, I guess. Help me stay sane.
Absolutely. When they say,
I think that,
go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
Well, it just goes back to like that community. They say like you're just as strong as your first 5 people that you're in contact with. And I think this is true right now. Like, when I'm feeling down and I want to vent, then I need to know I have another person that can call me and get me out of that, but let me vent and be depressed in the moment. And then know that they're going to have that day to get, and I'll get them through that. I think we take turns.
Me saying, you go ahead, me go ahead. That reminded me, there's like a funny YouTube video out of like the Zoom meeting and they're actually physically next to each other. And it's like all the person that's not connected. But anyways, I think that talking about my last final thoughts are, I do think that we're going to become a better grateful nation. I think that we've let material things, and I'm guilty of that, even get in our way. And like Drew said, we thank God every day and haven't taken, we're not going to take things for granted anymore. I think it's a wake-up call for lots of us. I always said that everybody should go on a mission trip because that's the exact same way that you feel when you come home from a mission trip, and it just makes you think differently. Well, now we didn't have to go anywhere to go on a mission. We're here and we're going through it, and it's nothing compared to anything that they're going through at all. But it's grounded all of us, and we've gotten to spend more time with our family and our kids and those that matter. And it's just testing our mental abilities, which I think are once we get through this, we're going to be mentally super strong.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all so much for being on this call with me and sharing your insights to the pause. So if people, because I know that we're going to be sharing this through our platforms, just so that people who are listening, can you all just share how, if they want to reach out to you and know more about and connect with you or know more about what you do, can you all just share with your social platforms as well?
Yeah, so my email is Kellyanne, KELLYANNE @kw.com, and I am Kellyanne Harris on Facebook from Owensboro, Kentucky.
Best way to reach us to reach me is probably Facebook. It's Drew Hardesty or Wonderboy Media, and my cell phone number, I believe, is on my Wonderboy Facebook account. So if you need to call, I think it's all there. Email, everything. Just go to Facebook.
And mine is, I have kind of 2 different, so you can always find me on Puzzle Pieces Facebook page, but also Pieces of Me, and then on Instagram at Pieces of Me by Amanda. So again, thank you all. I love you both. And we're all going to get through this. As Kentucky governor says, my favorite right now is Amy Beshear.
Incredible leader.
He is. We got this.
We got this.